Okay, Guten Tag. Now that we've gone through the cash flow, let's go through each one of these. I kind of touched on these briefly before. The different categories here are graphed on this, the largest, the smallest, your subcategories, and the vendors. But let's go through these other ones. Okay, so we added a couple things here in January. Again, these are pivot tables. So when you do that, you just hit refresh, and whatever you've added on there will automatically get put in there. So before, we only had that, and now the vehicle went up to $54 because it updated it. Again, with the breakdown, so if we go here to vehicle, we see we're only at $23, and we hit refresh there, and then whatever the ones that we added in our actual, it refreshes the whole sheet. Same thing, and just go over here, and it'll show that as well. Okay, so Chevron's now at 54 instead of 23. Same thing up here. So if we go to, let's see, where is vehicle? Vehicle over here is $23. So again, just anywhere on the sheet's okay, and you hit refresh. And then it changes it to 54. So again, the pivot tables are anything that you do in your actual, whether your January, February, March actual. When you enter it in your actual and you go over here to either your breakdown or your monthly tables, all you do is right click and hit refresh. So again, and then here's your monthly actuals. These are going to you don't have to do anything on these. These are completely automatic. All your subcategories are in here, all 90 or 100, how many you have in there. They're broke down by the month and the total. And then there's graphs in here to show on each category again what your spend is on each one of those. And it just goes all the way over here. Too far. This is the bottom part of the subcategories. So again, people, sometimes it's easier just to look at the graphs to see where you're spending. Your subcategory rankings will all be here, and we'll show those in a different graph on another one. Actually, we have it right here. We just go to subcategory graph, and it's over here. And so your subcategories are all broke down, however many you put in there and what the amounts are. Again, they're always from largest to smallest. So then next we go to the actual here, and again these are all graphed out each particular month, and say so you want to go to the February graph here to see what your spend is. They're all broke down, what income was in there for those four, and then your different expenses for that particular month, and they're all broke down there. Now, one of the other good things here is your cash flow here is broke down. What your revenue was, your expenses for the month, what your net is, and this chart here is handy. Again, it shows how much your revenue was, your expenses, and your free cash, and it's a cumulative deal, so it'll run you all the way through there. This one's broke down by each month, but this one's good because it shows each cumulative expense as you go through, and cash flow is everything. So again, these are all automatic. You don't have to do anything. Most of these charts are other than the pivot tables, are completely automatic. They're there for you to utilize. And again, here on the totals, your main categories are here, and then down below here you got your breakdown on your income for each one, and then you got your vendors here, and again these are they'll show the graph here, and then over here to the side here it'll show again, we put in all the Wells Fargo ones. So again, largest to smallest, how much you spent at each particular vendor, and then Over here, you've got your graph for your subcategories and how much you spend on each one of the subcategories. And then this one here is helpful. It's your budget versus actual. So you did your budget, you put it in your expenses, your income you put in here, and then when you put in your actual, it shows here, and it'll show you, you know, you budgeted this, you did 0, so you're minus 250, and so for the month you're minus there. And your expenses, okay, so we got 120 budgeted, you spent that, so you're minus $2. This gets you really good if you're unfamiliar with how to do budgets. The budget, actual, and the variance as you go through here. And again, one quick thing to point out, budgets are dynamic, okay? They constantly need to be updated. So if things are going on that in your life that you need to change, so you might need to go in here and change. You go through January and February and you have some other things that are going on. Well, update your budget. And you go through and change it as you go. That's one reason why the cash flow is so important, is that budgets are dynamic. You just got to keep going. They're fluid. And so you learn from what you're doing, and then you make your adjustments. And that's one great part of this cash flow, is you can see where you're at. So that being said, so another quick thing that I didn't point out before, I got a bunch of calculators in here. A savings calculator, you just change these particular deals, okay? So say it's only going to be 10 years. It'll change and what your future value is. The payment calculator is kind of a good one. Okay, say okay, you want to buy a truck and you get a great rate and it's only 6 1/4, and you're going to pay it off in 7 years, and the loan amount is $32,000 for the truck. Okay, and it tells you what your monthly payment is, what your total cost is. So it's just handy to have. The mortgage calculator, this is another handy one, whether you invest or if it's just for your monthly house. You just put in your loan amount, guess on how much over 30 years or 20 years, 15 years, what your yearly appreciation is going to be. Let's say you do that and you're actually going to buy a new house and it's $425,000. Okay, at a, let's say, 3% yearly appreciation. And these all change over here. What your principal is, how much interest you pay, total amount paid, your original amount, what your future value is, and how much you actually made on it. I also have a deal in here if you want to make extra payments. So you can keep track of where you're going at the time. It'll automatically calculate those in there. And for those of you who really play around with it, this one here, you can enter in the amount that you think it's going to be for that particular year, where you think it's going to be going up, whether you think it's going to be going down. Let's first year is that, and they all change. And say you got a rental property, you want to hold it for 5 years. This is what you think it's going to appreciate by the year. What your running total is, the valuation on what it's going to be, based on what you put in for your appreciation, and how much you make minus what you owe on the house. So another one, just another handy deal. Again, on the cash flow, this is an older one from mine, geez, a long time ago, just to show you how it works and stuff on your cash flow, and what it looks like. This is quite a bit different than the one that we have now. We've made quite a few improvements as we've gone along. And then you can always go around here. The menu is easy to get around to. If you want to look at say what you want to look at, the what your percentage of income graph is for January. Okay, so it's going to take you here, and won't always be exact, but it'll show you here's what you are, your family, do that. And I've got links spread all the way through here, so it's easy to go to. You want to go to your January cash flow. Okay, you're there. Okay, oops, I didn't want to go there. So you go back here. I want to take a look at my budget versus actual. The navigation's pretty easy to get around on here. There's quite a few internal links, 252,000. You know, in the formulas and stuff are all in there, so that you don't have to do any of the calculations yourself. It's all set. Again, you got the instructions. You know, you can run through here if you forget how to do something, and if you don't know how to do that, just go to the videos, and you can walk through, and at the very least you can always email me. So looks like I don't have that email in here, so let's see, do I have this protected? I do. So anyhow, the email is oops, can't do that.
From
sorry.
laptop QSN
Win at mypeakpower.com, and it's in here. So go back to the menu here. So there you go. It should be enjoyable. You'd be amazed at how much money you're gonna actually save just by knowing where your money's going, by budgeting it and making your adjustments. You know, 84% of the American public waste 7% of their money, of their income. So just think about that. If you made $100,000, that's $7 grand a year that people just blow. This is a good program to have, and it's a good program to get used to. And once you get the thing set up, you know, once you do your budget and get things entered in there, you know, you're looking at 10-15 minutes max a day to know exactly where you're at all the time. So there you go. We'll speak to you later.